change of pace.
Welcome to the Change of Pace podcast. This is Rohan, and today I'm joined by Sahil and Sai. We just saw the end of an exciting game. Okay, before I even say that, exciting game four. I don't know if it was the most entertaining game, but it was definitely like I guess the outcome was what we wanted going into a game five with a 2-2 series. Thunder's offense and defense, honestly, but like the Thunder's big hitters came to play down the stretch, especially with Shea leading the charge, like 15 points. What was it, in the last 5 minutes at 15 points?
Yep.
Crazy. Just a full Shea takeover. Indiana, there's high level, but like Indiana's offense, they just didn't seem to have like a consistent offense down the stretch. Took some ill-advised shots, and I just think the Thunder defense really clamped toward the end of the game. So yeah, excited to hear your guys' thoughts. Sai, why don't we start with you? How are you feeling right now? How are the emotions?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing I can say is this is not a game any team that played like the Thunder should have won. They shot what, three, they made three threes, shot what, 3 for 15 from three, pretty atrocious
Only 15
percentages.
attempts, yeah.
Yeah. And they had 11 assists the whole game, like an offensive performance that is pretty atrocious in the modern NBA. And for some reason, they pulled this out, were able to keep it close throughout the half. And then, the third quarter, Pacers, as expected, based off the way the Thunder were playing with no offensive consistency or rhythm, where no one was really passing the ball. The shots were always like drives to the hole where like someone was getting fouled or like mid-range shots that were just ill-advised and end of shot clock possessions. And then they keep it close. And then the Pacers kind of just fall off the wheels at the end. I think a lot of it has to do with the Thunder defense, creating a lot of turnovers and really capitalizing off the turnovers, which they failed to do in game one. But this game, I think they were really on top of it, where they were able to get what, 25 or 26 points off turnovers,
Yeah.
off 18 turnovers that they forced.
It was like, yeah, it was like 50, yeah, 15
Yeah,
turnovers and like 26 points off those turnovers.
right. So again, 12 steals out of those 8 to 15 turnovers, which is really impressive. That's a lot of live ball turnovers you're able to create as a team. And I thought a guy who really showed up today was Alex Caruso, probably the MVP of the game. I know Shea closed him out, but he was the most consistent force. He hit 1 3 for them out of the three, which was honestly one of the biggest ones because they were in like a huge drought at that point. Just couldn't hit a shot. And then yeah, Shea closed him out at the end. Just an insane game. Really reminded me of Game 4 versus Denver, where Denver controlled the whole game. Lou Dort in that game hit like three crazy back-to-back threes to kind of put the Thunder back up,
Yeah.
and then Shea closed him out. Very similar game. Shea obviously struggled a lot more. I mean, his ending stats may look good, but the fact that he got 0 assists based off the attention he was able to draw, pretty disappointing. And just wasn't efficient. Like the 10 free throws look good. A lot of them in crunch time, you were just getting fouled at the end of the game. But he was able to grift when it mattered the most. And I think especially against Neesmith, Nemhard was giving him fits all game. Like he literally, like what I've noticed is Nemhard's really good at like pulling the chair and like fading off of contact. Like he'll absorb it and like not, he'll absorb it by moving out of the way of it and then just getting right back in your face. And that's something like Shea likes to create. Like he'll get you off guard and then push you, create that contact and create the space he needs. And he can't do that against Nemhard. And Nemhard's screen navigation has been insane this series. Like against Hartenstein, like anytime he's trying to get screened off ball, I feel like Shea just cannot get the ball. So when they're getting switches on to Neesmith, I feel like Shea's been able to capitalize, and I think that's what helped him at the end of the game. And then I thought Jalen Williams was also pretty impressive this game, especially in his aggressiveness, just getting to the rim. I felt like the first 3 games of the series, something he's been doing a lot is just settling for mid-range jumpers. And I felt like, he still had some of that this game, but what he was doing was getting downhill, getting to the rim, and getting to the free throw line. So the free throw line attempts, like 38 free throws, is an insane amount, and that really helped them keep the game close, especially when the Pacers were trying to pull away as much as they could, and the turnovers really helped them and capitalizing off those turnovers.
Yeah.
I still can't believe they won a finals game and they made three threes. The
Yeah,
last time that's happened was Boston in 2010.
Wow.
That
yeah.
is it just still makes no sense to me. Indiana felt like they had that game the entire first 3 quarters, and in the fourth quarter, their offense just couldn't find any path to creating anything. I don't think they made a three in the
0
fourth
for 8.
0 for 8 in the fourth quarter. the Chet, we have to talk about Chet just for a second because defensively he was even on the offensive glass, but defensively in the end of the game he was amazing. They were 0 for 4 in the last 2 minutes when they targeted Chet. Um, when OKC started switching that action, the Halliburton couldn't really create space on Chet. I mean, and that's the thing with Indiana. Like when you it really comes down to it, they don't have
Mm,
a great ISO scorer. So in these
mhm.
situations, these late game situations, it feels like the Thunder can kind of just muck things up, and kind of just suffocate the Indiana offense. And then on the other end, they're just gonna play the same game that they've been playing the entire time. And even though OKC wasn't offense wasn't great, they still live and it was just so weird because the analytics people lost today because OKC just won a game off purely tough twos. Like
Yeah.
I pulled up clean the glass, and they didn't make a single corner three today. They were 0 for 3 from the corners. Indiana was 7 for 13 from the corners. So
Did Shea
Indiana
not have a corner three?
No, it's like right wing, I think, or
it was
left wing.
right
I don't
wing
know
at the
why
end
I
of the
thought it
game.
was a corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It was one of those where at the end of the game, I think Shea started to realize like, okay, Nemhard, I can't really get what I want, but against Neesmith, I can. So it's one of those actions. They ran that 4 times to end the game. The Neesmith and Nemhard where they wanted to switch with J-Dub. Shea got a good look each time. One of those was
Yeah.
was the one they were talking about. The other times he foul baited, foul grifted into a couple free throws.
Yeah.
Which
And that's the thing with Neesmith, he's handsy. Like he'll give you the
yeah.
foul. With
Yeah.
Nemhard, he's a little smarter and won't make that mistake.
Yeah, and I didn't have a problem with the fouls, honestly. There's like that whole
Yeah.
discussion going on about like the free throws and stuff. I mean, they are a little grifty. There was one where Neesmith's shoulder, hand was
Hmm.
on Shea's shoulder. Shea goes up. I mean, I don't want to see a finals game end like that, but yeah, I think the physicality is going both ways. I think the biggest thing that I realized from this game and from the first 4 games is I know when there's 3 minutes left what OKC should be doing, which is they have two things that they can go to. I think they can go to the Shea ISO whenever they want, and they can go to attacking Miles Turner. Um, Turner plays at the level against Shea. He's either going to reject the screen or he's going to split the double, and they've been getting great shots out of that. A few times Chet made bad reads on a couple of those plays to start the game, but I think they can just span that all game and get pretty good shots. With Indiana, I still don't know what their pet action is. Like, what do I know that they can go to at the end of the games that'll definitely get them a bucket? And it's really just OKC's defense that puts you in such a tough position. But when it comes down to the end of games, OKC can just tighten the screws, and Indiana just isn't able to score. And I think that's what it's going to come down to, and why I think OKC will in the end win the series.
I will say, like, I think you said that they don't really have any good ISO scores. And I think Siakam is a decent ISO scorer, especially with the mismatches that he can get. Like what OKC was doing at the end of the game with just switching everything, letting Chet guard Hallie and like kind of living with that. And he's done a great job throughout the series.
Yeah.
Hallie did get him a few times. And that was honestly, I thought Hallie was about to close him out, just like keep getting these switch on Chet and taking advantage of it. And Chet managed to close him out a couple times and really limit those shots, lead to like some mad Miles Turner bad threes. But the fact that Siakam got one shot attempt in the fourth quarter was pretty alarming, especially when he's been the most consistent offensive player for them the entire series. He had
Mhm.
28, 5, and 5 today, a ridiculous game. But the fact that he got one shot attempt, and then especially like he can get these mismatches on Shea. They were going small, so if he can seal Caruso, I think he can still, put up a decent shot. And like I think even on Dort, like he can face up and actually create a jumper in a time when they really needed it. So the fact that they can't get him the ball, and I feel like consistently this is what's costing Indiana these games, especially game two. When Siakam's getting the mismatch, they're not giving it to him. Game three, that was like the way they started that game was just like feed Siakam, and get him involved and make him feel involved in the action. And then they just refused to do it at the end of the game. And I feel like that cost him down the stretch.
And Hallie has been so much better scoring off the ball than he has on the ball because Lou Dort creates so many problems because he's such a good screen navigator and Miles Turner, Siakam aren't great screen setters. So it's a lot easier for Dort to stay attached to Halliburton when he has the ball. But when he's off the ball running around screens and he's coming off dribble handoffs, it's a lot harder for Lou Dort to keep up because he can just backdoor cut or he can come off another screen. They gotta find a way to keep Halliburton off ball a little bit more, which sounds a bit counterintuitive because he's the floor general. He's the guy who gets everything going. But I don't know. It's just OKC's defense is just so good. I even just like seeing how they were able to in the fourth quarter just change it, just like they did in Denver in Game 4. It's just it's actually I think it's the best defense that I've seen with my own eyes.
Really? Wow. I mean, Lou in the fourth quarter was like a big reason why they were not able to score. Like you said, his screen navigation was insane. Tyrese couldn't get anything going. Sai, you said that that small lineup, like that they went small, and I think that was a lineup that almost blew open the game for the Pacers with Obi and Pascal as the 4 and 5 because Miles Turner missed like he was like 0 of 6 from three today. And I feel like at that point you might have to consider going small to close the game, especially if you have it going like the way they did, just because it lets you get up and run a little faster than you would with Miles Turner at the 5, and that might be the way for the Pacers to actually stand a chance against the Thunder.
And the
Um,
defense, you can't just attack Miles Turner like
yeah,
Sal was saying. Like Obi was holding his own. He had that block on J-Dub at the end of the possession. Like I feel like he can really guard in space better than I thought he could,
yeah.
especially against the bigger forwards on the Thunder. So yeah, and he had an excellent game, 17-7. And then those two threes he hit in the third, I really thought that was the game. Like um,
Yeah.
when he hit those back-to-back threes, and at that point, the Thunder's offense was just sputtering, as it has been the whole game, honestly. Um, but yeah, he had a really good game. Like minus 15 is crazy when you look at his stats, like because I guess it was just whenever Hallie's not on the floor, because Hallie was really impactful, and it felt like whenever he was in the game, it was kind of that's when they took the leads. But yeah, I mean, the Pacers bench has been pretty phenomenal. I felt like that's been the difference because coming into the series, I felt like, a guy like TJ McConnell's not going to make much of an impact because Case and Wallace can really guard him well. Like we have so many guard defenders who can really make him struggle. But I feel like OKC's continually underestimated these bench players, like especially Mathurin. They're not putting like their best defenders on him. They're not putting their best defenders on McConnell. They're not putting their best defenders on Toppin, and they've made them pay. And they're not closing out hard on these guys, especially when they have become capable 3 point. I mean, not McConnell, but the other two have become
Yeah.
capable 3-point shooters.
And TJ has been taking guys off the dribble like Kason
Hmm.
Wallace. And it's just like you would think,
Yeah.
okay, let's put Kason on TJ and we'll be all right. He's taking him, he's trying to guard him 94 feet. It's not working. Ball pressure, Indiana's ball pressure has been tiring OKC out though. In the third quarter, Shea looked really tired. And I
Oh my
was
God.
and when they went on that run, it kind of looked like that's when I had some doubt too about OKC, which makes it all the more impressive that Shea was able to come up with 15 points in 5 minutes. I think the big free throws numbers definitely helps in OKC a lot more than Indiana because Indiana wants to not only get up and run, but they want to press you 94 feet. They want to get like just they want to speed the game up, and slowing the game down definitely favors OKC.
Yeah, they combined for 71 free throws today. That's crazy. Like there wasn't some crazy free throw discrepancy. It just felt like the Thunder got them when they needed them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
mean, the Thunder, attack the paint a lot more, which
yeah,
comes with the territory of only
yeah,
attempting 16 3-pointers while Indiana attempts 36. But
yeah.
at the same time, I feel like this is a game where both fan bases can be like, I feel like we were robbed in the free throw line department.
The
Um,
refs just were too.
yeah,
God,
they
that's
were
like
really
biblical
inconsistent. Like
bullshit.
I thought especially the Thunder were getting screwed by like loose ball fouls. Like there were
Mhm.
like six of them in the fourth quarter, which is insane. And that's what got Indiana into the bonus early that quarter. And
Yeah.
free throws kept happening. And then at the same time, Indiana at the end of the game, two off-ball fouls, which
Like Ben
happened.
Mathurin just had a
Yeah, Mathurin
bad
getting
stretch.
screwed that way. I mean, obviously you can't miss three free throws in a row, which really cost them the game
That's
too.
crazy
But
that that happened.
two
It,
off ball free
I
throw
saw it. Yeah.
fouls, and then the Shea
Yeah.
not the dagger, but like one of the closing shots where he definitely pushed off. I think
Yeah.
it's fine though. I think that's like playoff. You let that go. Jordan game 6. I don't know.
Just
I
be
think it's okay,
consistent.
especially with the physicality Nemhard plays him. Like he was grabbing his jersey like a lot of plays where he was just holding on to him, especially off ball. I think it's fine
I
personally.
think that the only reason I don't like I think the push off probably should have been called and there was a bit of travel too, but Neesmith did trip him a little bit too. The only thing is like I think the physicality goes both ways in terms of like ball pressure or off ball pressure because Dort does the same things, and then Nemhard does the same stuff. So I think that's where like then the grifty stuff from Shea is a little bit annoying as like not a casual fan, as like a regular fan of just like neither team would just want to see a good game. It's like I don't want to see a game like that. I felt like that game was gonna end in a game winner, and to see it end with like just like a free throw game was I felt like it's a little bit
I
short.
think, I mean, at the same time though, like if you get two off-ball fouls, like yeah, I guess that's something you can complain to the refs about, but also you you did it the first time, you can't do it another time, like the same player twice,
Yeah.
and that's what cost them the game at the end. I feel like at the end of the
Yeah.
day.
So looking forward to game five, there's no way that they start Hartenstein again, right?
No, I didn't understand it. I mean, I think the only reason I could think of is the fact that Shea was just not getting open off ball the first game, and Hartenstein's a big screener who can at least get him some separation when he needs the ball. And it didn't even feel like it worked that well. Like he's obviously a great screener. I'm still gonna give him that. But yeah, they started out immediately 15 points, like 3 minutes as soon as he
Yeah.
started off the game, and they can exploit him whenever they want with the one. Like that's what I was worried about coming in. Like it started and they have, started casing. But at this point, just start Caruso. Like, why are we beating around the bush for this long?
Mm.
He played 30 minutes this game. Obviously, Caruso can get in foul trouble early, which is, I think, the reason. But I mean, he's smart enough. He's the vet of the team. I think you can trust him. Just please start him. Don't let us get in these holes early, which we haven't. I mean, obviously, because we've destroyed the first quarter differential until this game. But I
I don't
think
even
you got to
mind.
keep playing small.
I don't even mind starting Wallace over Caruso because I know Caruso's going to play 30 minutes anyway, and he's going to close the game. I just don't understand starting Hartenstein because you need to be against Indy to guard them. You need to be fast. You need to be switchable,
Yep.
and the double big lineup does not give you that. Chet at the five absolutely does. I think they'll definitely. I think they'll probably start Caruso. No, I think Mark might like Caruso coming off the bench. I think sometimes coaches just have these ideals that they just stick to with certain players, like Kenny Atkinson, DeAndre Hunter, who like should have been starting, but you know what? Kenny likes coming off the bench, so he's going to come off the bench.
Yeah.
I think they might go back to Wallace next game.
Yeah, it's just that Wallace has been so bad these last two games at the same time. Like today, he was pretty miserable. He hit one clutch mid-range jumper that kind of was important, but I get like he had a couple missed layups, airball some threes. Like he really was not playing well. And then the last game, he had like two of those three McConnell steals in the inbounds plays. Like you can't have. I feel like he's shown his youth a lot more than I've ever seen him in a series, which is tough because he's a really good player for sure as a defensive guy who can really like, get in and cause problems for perimeter players. But at the same time, I think you need the veteran presence. I think you need the steady shooting, which Caruso gives you at this point, because no one else is shooting well on this roster right now.
I
Um,
don't. I think they're overthinking it. I don't know why
yeah.
Cruz. Like especially in the game five of the finals when guys are probably going to play 40 minutes, like consistently, like your top five. I don't see the point in not
Yeah, I mean,
starting.
he's probably been the third best player this series, legitimately, Caruso. He's
Better than
averaging
Chet.
15
Yeah,
points a game.
Chet hasn't been good.
Chet's had his moments, but yeah, first two games, J-Dub's been good the last two games, but consistently, like Caruso's been there all four games pretty much. He's averaging what 2.5 steals a game, 15 points.
He had like
Like
five steals today,
he
dude.
had five steals and a block
Crazy.
today. Ridiculous.
Yeah. I wanted to say something about that, but I totally lost my train of thought. I don't know. Yeah, I thought the officiating. I don't know if we're still talking about that, but like, yeah, like I saw a lot of people complaining about the officiating on the Thunder side where they're kind of able to like grab the Pacers player off ball and they're just not calling it the same way. I don't know. I feel like this game in general had a lot of like inconsistencies in reffing, but at the end of the day, it kind of evened out. Um, but it just sucks that like the game winner was two free throws. I don't know. As a
Uh,
fan, it sucks, but like, I
All
mean,
we
it's not
want is
like Leonard didn't
consistency.
earn this win, huh?
All we want is consistency. Like
Yeah.
the little like touch fouls and like the
Did you
Siakam
did you think there was a
wraparound.
touch? I definitely felt like the only grift of the game was the on the shoulder, and I feel like at that point that's something Nemhard knows with the scouting report that Neesmith just doesn't, and I think that was like a mistake you just made.
No, I think there was just a couple like there was one I forget when which quarter it was but where like Siakam wrapped around like somebody and it was just like guys like this series has been like that the whole time like why are you calling that right now? Also like the couple flagrant calls there was one that
Right.
didn't wasn't flagrant where it's just like
Yeah.
there's just no consistency which is like as a fan from a fan perspective it's a little bit frustrating.
There will be a
I mean,
fight.
game to game, I feel like there's just never consistency. But
Yeah.
I thought at least both they called both ways the flagrant, which I thought was fair. Like
Yeah.
if you call that first one, you have to absolutely call the second one a flagrant, which they did.
I totally remember what I wanted to say about Isaiah Hartenstein. Um, yes, they didn't start the game well, but him and Chet had some like big offensive rebounds in this game.
Yeah. But
Like
low-key, it wasn't with both of them on the floor. I felt like
in
Chet
the
was getting
fourth
his own
quarter,
and
I feel like
Hartenstein was getting his
had a
own.
big he had a big tip out in the fourth quarter, Isaiah Hartenstein did,
Oh
and
yeah,
was
yeah.
definitely on the court for that. But Chet obviously like his offensive rebounds actually end up leading to like scores.
Yeah,
Um,
putbacks.
so yeah, I don't know. I think. Yeah, I'm not sure. Isaiah Hartenstein can't keep up with the pace of this team. So yeah, it might be better to bench him and start Caruso. But yeah, they combined for like 6 offensive rebounds, something like that.
I think it's so fun to watch Nemhard guard Shea just because it totally feels like they've been playing together for so long.
Yeah.
And Shea,
Yeah.
like, Shea's the MVP and he can score on anybody. But then there's just like his, it kind of gives basketball that neighborhood feel a little bit of like when you go and play against your boy, but you've been playing against him for like 10 years, so you know exactly what he's gonna do. And it's like you see him cook somebody else, but then when you guard him, it's a little harder for him.
Yeah.
It's so fun to see that like basketball is still that raw, even at on the biggest stage at the highest level. I
Yeah.
love watching Nemhard guard him. It's so fun.
They're physical with each other. Every time I see, even like when Shea, like obviously Nemhard when he's on defense is very physical, but there's a few plays where like Shea literally pushes him out of the way to get to, like that's a common Shea move, but
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
isn't even just like a step back push up. This is dead ass like I'm shoving you to the ground as I
Yeah,
go
and
for
he's
the
gotten an
step.
offensive foul like this series,
Yeah.
like doing that, and you just never see that happen.
It's like specifically on Nemhard. It's very funny because he's
I
definitely
predict there's gonna be an
frustrated.
actual fight next game. Not like a, like
I think
today
so too.
was like
100%. There's like
today
two
was
bullshit
what they
ones.
had like Isaiah Hartenstein and Toppin were like talking, and that's somehow a double tech. I didn't get that.
Tyrese
But
Halliburton and Lou got into it too. It was
yeah,
very short, but like I
right.
think Tyrese had a layup and then Lou kind of shot. Or something happened, and then
And there was that Hallie flop at the free throw line too when somebody's shooting
Right.
like I was like I don't know. I do wish there was like just a little bit more hatred between these two teams.
yeah,
Too much mutual respect for my
that's
It's
liking.
too
fact.
physical
Yeah,
though. Like this is a really physical series. I think it's gonna get there. I don't think there's because there's this is such a Canadian finals, like they're too
too
nice.
nice. Facts.
They're gonna body each other up, but
It's
there's
still
definitely
Lou
like
Dort though, bro. Like, come on,
yeah. Yeah,
still.
yeah.
So Shea had 35 points, 15 in the last 5 minutes, but he had 0 assists. What grade are you guys giving him for this game?
I gotta give him a B.
Was
I feel
insane.
like that's higher than it should be because I
I
felt like D was probably the score going into the fourth quarter. Um, but this is probably the most I think this one game four against Denver was probably and then game four last year I think as well in like the Mavs series. I think those were probably the most clutch performances of his career. And I think this is probably like number three solidly. So I think I gotta give him some props for that. And then I thought defensively he's pretty good. Like they
He was
definitely
good.
targeted him a lot, but I thought he was able, like off ball, he's just a very, very good defender, and he was able to make some really good plays.
I would also give a B. Just because like he took over, even if it's through free throws. He had a couple big shots.
Yeah,
He had a
that
tough
three was
around
insane.
baseline. He had the layup, obviously. He had the three. That was a huge three.
Mhm.
So and yeah, obviously like maybe like I don't know how many like 6 free throws in like the last 5 minutes for him, maybe something like that.
It was
So
eight, I think,
was it okay?
eight
There
in
you
the
go.
fourth, but I think like four of them were,
Yeah.
end of game for fouling.
I
Yeah, I'd give him a B.
I'm a bit lower on. I kind of feel like it's like a C plus Shea game, and like it's hard to say that because he just like won them a finals game in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But I just thought his like general offensive process was pretty poor. I think he took a lot of bad shots. There was a couple that he didn't swing the rock. I mean, 0 assists. I'd be curious to see how many potential assists he had.
Hmm.
I would be surprised if it's more than five. Honestly, like
Wow.
I didn't love a lot of the shots he was taking. He still came out 12-24, so he was still efficient. Um, but it just felt like he was trying to kill them with long twos. Um, they shot they shot 18 long twos today. Um,
Wow.
the
That's insane.
Pacers shot nine. They shot 23 short range mid range shots. Like, just a
What
lot
did
of
they shoot on those shots?
they were 8 of
You have that?
18 on long mid range shots, 10 of
Not
23 on
bad.
short, 10 of 23 on short mid range shots. So,
It was
um,
like 43%. Okay.
yeah, it's
Decent.
not bad. It just it's so funny that they really just couldn't make a three. And
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's like it's just like you say, like the inefficiency. He was definitely like, even though yeah, the box score says 12 of 24, definitely doesn't. When Shea goes 12 of 24 from the field, it feels like an inefficient game. You just expect like 60% from the field consistently
Yeah.
from him.
And also
Um,
just 24 shots is a lot for Shea,
it is, yeah.
even though he does shoot a lot, but it's just like he usually gets to the line. He usually shoots more than four threes, like or at least makes a good amount. But at the same time, I don't know. I feel like a lot of the teammates were not getting open looks at all. There weren't any like I mean, obviously, he was definitely, getting there's a lot of help, so he could have
Yeah.
kicked out for a lot of better shots. But your team shoots 3 for 16 from three, and I'm sure Shea could have created more. But the fact that they got 16 shot attempts, I just felt like was a general, or at least I didn't feel like there was any egregious, like no egregious passes he didn't make. You know what I mean? But I do agree he was not the passer he should have been. Like there were definitely like playmaking limitations. The last two games, I was really disappointed in his playmaking, especially what he showed in game two, where he was really stellar as a playmaker. But yeah, I don't know. I would say he like under normal circumstances is probably like a 3 or 4 assist game, which is not great,
So
but they were
looking
still
ahead to
just
game
bad.
five,
Yeah.
do you change the rotation at all, or it's because Isaiah Joe played 4 minutes, Kenrich played 12, um, Wiggins played eight and a half. Do you look to change the rotation at all, or do you kind of keep because you're at home now, so like maybe Isaiah Joe gets hot, maybe Aaron Wiggins gets hot, but they were both pretty bad today.
Yeah, I
Aaron
would
Wiggins
I
was
would
good.
definitely shorten the I think I think we go less Case and Wallace a little bit. Focus more on Caruso, a little less Hartenstein, more Kenrich.
Mm.
Um, I mean, I guess it's pretty similar, but yeah, I definitely try to look in getting those shooters out because Wiggins and Joe, like, you're not getting any. If Dort, Wiggins, or Joe are not like making any threes, like this team can't get any. They're not going to win the math battle, and they didn't win the math battle this game, but they somehow won the game. But if you can't win the math battle at all, it's really hard to win these games.
I
It's
don't know. I
funny.
feel like Wiggins was pretty good this series. Has been like pretty decent at
He
for
was good game two, and that was it, man.
better than Isaiah Joe has, no?
Oh, for sure, yeah, yeah.
So like if you have to bring someone like I still feel like I would put like Aaron Wiggins over Kenrich Williams in the rotation. So if you're gonna talk
I
about
don't know.
benching,
Kenrich has been good. Like I feel like when they go small ball, they're better than with one big heart as Hartenstein. Like I just have liked a lot of what he's offered defensively and like guarding a guy like Siakam. If Caruso's not in the game, I trust Kenrich more than anyone, I think.
Yeah, I think it's funny that the I don't know I love how TJ McConnell can just spark up a game just randomly. He comes in 10 points 10 minutes. I saw he said on a podcast like JJ Redick's podcast he was like playing hard is a skill, and
Hmm.
that is true. But he also does have like he's sneakily like a really good athlete, and you don't really think of TJ McConnell as an athlete, but his change of speed, a change of direction,
yeah,
and his start stop, his acceleration is so impressive. Like I cannot imagine having to guard something like that. It must be exhausting.
yeah.
Yeah, he's incredibly twitchy. Like I
Mhm.
think I don't know, like a cockroach, like an ant. Like
What the fuck?
like
What
he
kind of
changes directions
references
so
are
quick,
these?
bro. No, but you know what I mean? Like
I do
he
know what you
literally
mean. Like it's like
twitches.
he
He literally
zigzags all over the
twitches.
place.
Like he
Imagine us
spasms
playing him
on the
in an
court.
open gym. We'd get so cooked. Like
Yeah.
imagine that guy bigger than all of us moving like that. Oh my
Is he
God.
bigger than all of us?
He's like 6'1", no?
Yeah, no,
That's what they say, bro. You know what I mean?
6'1",
Like
190. I mean, I don't know.
I
That's
don't
still
think he's
pretty
like
tall.
he's fucking tiny.
Actually, that's like your height, Si. You're six
Yeah,
one,
I'm
right?
bigger than 6'1", 190, I'd say.
So predictions, serious predictions, any changes?
Thunder in seven. I feel like I had Thunder in what, six before. I've maybe move it to seven. I feel like Thunder get game five, and then they get like I said, they've been slow at times this series. Like that sense of urgency for Shea didn't pick up until the fourth. So like every home team does, I mean every team does, they'll probably lose the game six, and then I'd take them in the seventh game against the Pacers. Yeah, in OKC. How about you guys?
Yeah, I mean, if we're looking at the formula that it's exactly like Denver
The
series
Denver,
where
yeah.
game one lose on like a really close, buzzer beater with the Aaron Gordon, Tyrese Halliburton shot. Game two, pretty decisive win. Game three, kind of choke away at the end where it felt like OKC had a lead for the majority of the game, give it away, and lose by like what 7 or 9 points. And then game four, you don't have a lead at all, and then in the last couple of minutes win the game. If we're going by that formula, it's Thunder in seven. And after game one, I felt like Thunder in seven was a good bet, because I was just underestimating the Pacers and the level of ball pressure they were able to give the Thunder roll guys, and just how consistent their offense can be, even in how dominant the defense can be. Like they scored 66 points in that second half in games one and two. Like even if they go through bad spells, their offense will always sort itself out eventually. Um, I'll still go Thunder in seven just because of the home court advantage and their offense I think can be better at home,
Yeah.
even with the ball pressure than Nemhart because I think Shea will just trust his shooters more at home, and the shooters will probably provide more at home. But it's a very close series. I really think the Pacers have shoot proven to be the better team in the four games, which is
Mm.
surprising after game two, where the entire after game two, it felt like everyone was like, okay, the series is over in five, where the Thunder is just gonna gentleman sweep after Tyrese got a lucky shot at the end of game one, and then they just
Yeah.
dominate the next two games. And I got to give the Pacers a lot of props. I think they could definitely win the series in six, even based on how the Thunder have been
Wow.
playing. I mean,
Okay.
if I'm being honest, these last two games have been horrible performances by OKC, and but I believe that's all I'll say. I'll give them the seven.
I'd also go Thunder in seven just because I don't know if you can beat the Pacers three times in a row. That's like beating the math three times in a row.
Hmm.
And you got to think at one point, all these corner threes that the Pacers are hitting are going to win them a game. Just one. Um, Probably the one at home. I think OKC is going to win kind of a tough one, but
Yeah.
semi like a 10-point win in game five. I think the Pacers might win by 20, not 20, maybe not 20, by 15 in game six. I think game seven is going to be a lot of fun. I hope
I
it goes,
think
but
I was gonna say like one thing about both these teams, they do not lose back to back. So if the
Yeah.
Pacers win game five, they probably win the series. And just that's just how it goes. Like maybe OKC wins game six, Pacers win game seven. Like that, I just feel like
I don't
that's
know
the
if
direction it
Indiana's
would
winning.
go.
I don't know if Indiana's winning two more at OKC. That seems a
They're
bit.
the best road playoff team in the league though, at the same time. So
So, question, do you think that in just looking in the you know long-term trends in the league, do you think that both these teams that one of the things they excel at is just like being super physical and like kind of guarding 94 feet, especially Indiana? Is that kind of the formula now? Because I feel like because everybody's so talented offensively, it kind of feels like you have to be super physical on ball pressure and you have to be able to tire the opposing stars out. And I kind of feel like when I'm looking like as a Cavs fan, I'm looking around at my team and I'm like, we don't have a lot of guys that can press you 94 feet and it's gonna really tire you. Like Max Strus is would try to do that to Tyrese Halliburton. But I'm like, who cares if Max Strus is guarding you 94 feet? That's not that
yeah,
big of a problem. You know,
probably
when
just a Coro, yeah.
yeah,
Maybe.
and Okoro plays like 10 minutes a game, so it
Yeah.
doesn't matter, right? So I'm like, maybe that's like a new trend that we're gonna start seeing down the line.
It was like that in 2022. I feel like GP and Wiggins were doing that a lot for that Celtics series. I mean, Tatum looked like shit against Wiggins in that series for that exact reason. And GP is just the pest for whoever he plays. 2024, I guess similar. Like you have Drew Holiday, Derek White. I don't know if it's the same level that these guys are doing it because like they rely on a lot of like Derek White offensively as well. And I feel like Lou Dort's identity is literally like 3 and D. So he doesn't really put the ball on the floor as much as Derek White or play make. I don't know. That's a good question. Like, I feel like we've talked about this before. Like, in the regular season, you don't see like I feel like the Pacers defense, I think it was top 10 after the All-Star break, but you just didn't feel like it was as impressive as it looks now.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
kind of similar. I mean, Thunder, you always kind of knew it was like this, but the playoffs just officiated differently, which is why a lot of the teams that were good in the regular season seemed pretty mediocre in the playoffs, and we had risers like the Pacers or even the Knicks. I just feel like they get away with a lot more physicality in the playoffs. So I don't. That's not really an answer to your question, but I mean, yes, I feel like in history, like you've always had teams like there's never been a bad defensive team that's won a title, right? Like most teams have hung their hat on defense.
Yeah, I
So,
would say like
um,
I think it's not as much as a reflection on the defense. I feel like it's more of a reflection on the offense, like the number of elite guards on these good teams, right? It's like pretty much every team has an elite guard, and having these pests and ball pressure, that's really testing your team. Like if you have Anthony Edwards, having a Lou Dort on him is just going to limit what he can do.
Mhm.
Shea, Tyrese, Jalen Brunson, like these guys are elite, and having these pests on them obviously going to tire them out. But that's just because every good team has an elite guard. And
Yeah.
so having a guy who's, perfect at guarding elite guards is just always going to be beneficial for your defense, I think.
Mhm.
And then also, I think just OKC's proven this. I think, Indiana's proven this as well. It's just like if you don't have size, if you have a lot of speed, you can really make up for it. And I think pressuring 94 feet is a way you can use that speed to your advantage
Yeah.
if if you don't have the size like OKC doesn't.
Yeah, because if you're Shea, you're getting to the half court line at with like 17 seconds on the shot clock, you're
Yeah.
already a little bit tired. And then on the other hand, Indiana is taking the ball past the half court
Offensively.
line when there's still 20 seconds on the shot clock. It's like a hard game
Right.
to play. One more point on OKC and on Lou Dort. Like I think Mark Daigneault has kind of had a weird series. I'm not sure how if he's been that great, but his ATOs have always been so good. Even like to start the game today, they come out to they run like some side pick and roll, and it turns into a Lou Dort downhill on Tyrese Halliburton, which is what Mark wanted, I think, in the play was, we know that the floor is gonna be spaced out. There's the strong side corners. They're not gonna help off. Lou Dort's gonna get going downhill against Tyrese. That's an easy layup. And then OKC just tends to freelance the rest of the game. But every time they come out of a timeout, it's fascinating to watch. Like they get Shea off the ball, he's setting a back screen for J-Dub, or something like that, and they just look so much better.
Yeah,
I think we gotta call more sets, honestly. I think
definitely.
more sets is always better.
Yeah, I think Mark is very good at, I mean, he's obviously like very good at drawing these ATOs, but it feels like a lot of his plays just have different options, where I feel like a lot of the Thunder's normal offense just does it,
Mhm.
right? It's like maybe you get a cut here and there. Like, I mean, obviously when the defense gives you something, the Thunder are very good at taking it. But if they don't and they're just running their Shea isolation or J-Dub isolation, like what else are the other guys going to do? Maybe they'll cut baseline if like there's open space. But otherwise, they're really just standing out of the
Yeah.
three. Like, there's not optionality in the offense. And when you have sets like Mark runs, like you can have Lou Dort running downhill, but otherwise, like, when are you going to get the situation where he's going to get the ball downhill, like in a perfect situation? Like, yeah, I agree. Sets need to be definitely run more, and I don't know if that's a thing of coaching. It just might be like they don't have. I don't know. Their playbook isn't as deep. They don't have a deep bag, maybe. And when it comes to that, or maybe
That's the
they're just
difference
like
between them
it's
and the
easy to
Blazers.
run out ISO. That just could be it.
I just think like it's a blessing and a curse almost because like for the first three quarters, the Thunder offense looks like dog shit compared to the Pacers, and then in the fourth quarter when it matters most, this like movement offense, like free flowing shit is not working against a switchable team like the Thunder. Versus Thunder, they were literally spamming this two-man game with Shea and Jadam, and it worked to perfection every single time. And this is isolating essentially. So
It weirdly kind of reminds me of Ron, you're gonna hate me, but the Cavs and the Warriors because the Warriors motion offense, beautiful offense, and then in the end of the game, it's like they no neither team has scored 90 points, and
yeah,
LeBron and Kyrie are just saying they're like picking on certain mismatches and like slowing down the game and stuff like that. Obviously, it's very different, but that it kind of gives me those vibes a little bit, especially when they start like picking on Hunting Neesmith, who's a good defender by the way.
he has
Like
not been
Very good.
good this series, dude.
he
He is
has it, but
bad versus Shea
generally.
versus J-Dub. It's in bad.
Yeah, J-Dub's been cooking him. And J-Dub has hit some very clutch end of quarter.
Yeah. What was
Um,
he? Last game, two, he hit one,
That
right?
was nuts. Yeah, the three.
yeah,
Yeah.
That was a
and
crazy three.
even the one
Monster.
this game to push it from 9 to 7,
Yeah,
it just feels psychologically a little bit better.
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
Even on this in like when they do the sounds of the game or whatever, and they do the mic'd up, like you can hear sometimes the players like say stuff like that, like okay, let's just get it down to 10 and we'll be good. Or Tyrese today said something about like hit these free throws, we'll hit one more shot out this time out, we'll have the lead. Something like that. Like it's weird because like you think as a fan, only we think like that. Like we're always searching for like, oh, just be down 10, just be down 10. But locally the players are also thinking like that too, which I don't think I realized like I only realized that recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the players, even more than the fans, are able to take it possession by possession.
Yeah,
Like, fans are like, we need, like, if you're down 15, the game's over. But, like, at the end of the day, all you can do as a player is get the points on the board, get a stop, get the points on the board, get a stop, and hope they just stack up.
they went down 8 today, and Sai, you just texted us, oh, it's over
It's
after
just
the.
like the momentum, dude. Gainbridge is crazy. Like they are doing a great job of feeling like the game's over. And also, I don't know.
Yeah.
This felt like the exact same emotions I had game four Nuggets series.
Yeah,
Legitimately just straight depression, season's over. Historic team gone by the wayside. It worked out, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe I should
any
just
more
keep
thoughts,
being
or should we talk
depressed
some?
and I work out every game.
Any more thoughts, or should we talk some KD trades?
Yeah, I think I'm good. I think we covered most of the things from this game at least. They're
Yeah,
important.
let's do it.
Okay, if I had to ask you right now, what team is KD gonna be on to start the season? What's your answer?
Rocket.
Seems like Spurs is the favorite at this point.
Well, that's a really good one actually.
Why do I thought I saw something the other day that said the Spurs are out on KD,
Really?
but maybe
What?
I
No,
didn't see
I thought
that.
a source close to KD said that he thinks he's gonna go there or he wants
Yeah.
to go there.
maybe I got sent out. You never know.
Spurs have a good package. Like I think the Spurs have a
Yeah.
pretty comparable package to the Rockets, especially because
I
they have
mean,
that number two pick.
well, I'm not trading the number two pick for KD or
Then who are
Castle.
you trading? Then who is like what real
Vassell,
value?
Sohan, and I mean, you have future picks to trade. I'm not trading. Those are your two
That's
biggest
all
assets other than
garbage. Those
Wemby.
future picks are useless.
It's Kevin
Sohan
Durant.
and
He's has like 2 years left on his contract, each at like 40 million, and he's 38
Kevin
years
Durant is
old or
practically a
37 years
guaranteed
old.
championship next to De'Aaron Fox and Wemby. Maybe not guaranteed, but that's
In the
a
West,
conference finals
I
appeal.
agree. I agree. But I don't think those I think those are the things that are maybe Castle, but I don't think you trade the number two pick, no matter what.
no, I don't think so either. For Kevin Durant, no,
No.
there's no way.
If
Like
I'm the
Dylan
Suns,
Harper,
I
I'm not
wouldn't
doing it.
trade him there without that because and then I think Reed Shepherd is probably has a better future than any of those guys in the Spurs that you named. Like I think Vassell and Sohan are basically bench players the rest of their careers. Like very, very good bench players. I don't think they're like
Again,
starters on a
they still
contender.
have future picks to trade. I'm not saying it that the package is done there, but
But the
um,
future picks are like on a Wemby-led Spurs team.
that's fair. Yeah. But do they have Hawks picks? I might trade those.
I'm not sure. I haven't
Kings
looked that
picks?
deeply.
No, they
Uh,
probably trade. Yeah.
Honestly, I'm,
King.
I'm looking at the ESPN's trade packages, and they're not as much. They're not giving up as much as you would think for KD, and it
Yeah.
honestly makes sense because he is old and he takes up 35% of your cap, and he's on a 1 year deal. He'll probably sign a 2 year extension, but who knows what a 40-year-old KD even looks like? I mean, I'm sure he'll be decent, but um, like I'm like for the Rockets, they have Dylan Brooks, Reed Shepherd, Cam Whitmore, then Jock Landale, number 10 pick, and a 2027 first round pick. Just a decent amount, but it's like if you're the Rockets and you're keeping
Yeah.
Jalen Green in a KD
That's so
deal,
surprising. Yeah.
yeah.
Do the Suns want KD or Jalen Green?
Why wouldn't you like
I don't know.
He
I don't
makes
think
$30
anybody
million
wants him.
dollars a year for 3 years. Or
that's not
and
even that
these
much for
guys are your young contracts. Like
me.
when you're a team with no roster flexibility, I
I mean,
think
if,
I'd
if I'm,
prioritize that.
I mean, and if I'm Devin Booker, I'm looking back at that and I'm like, I'm getting Dylan Brooks from this deal. Like, I'm not very happy about that, but it sounds
Yeah.
like Devin Booker's gonna stay in Phoenix no matter what. So,
That's
Yeah.
a terrible. They're in such a bad. But Bradley Beal's guaranteed not coming back. Warriors will swoop him up. I'll take it. I'll
Dude,
take him as a
this
bench
Knicks
guy making
trade,
more
I don't
money.
even,
KD for OG and Mitchell Robinson,
I saw. Oh, we've talked about that one. No,
that's
have we
crazy.
not talked about that exact trade before?
I feel like I would not do that if I'm the
Oh, is that from a
Knicks.
really old article? Did the article come out like 2 months ago or like a month and a half ago? Because I feel
No,
like I heard no
this was
dunks
three
talking
days
about this
ago.
exact. Oh,
well, so
what?
the
They
question
literally
is, if you're
talked
the
about. Okay.
Suns and you know you're gonna have Booker,
Hmm.
what do you look for in this trade package? Because ideally, you want to stay competitive, but also recoup some assets.
That's what
I
I'm
am
saying.
so out on trying to be competitive. Um,
But I'm saying it's Ishbia. Like he
yeah,
just bought the
yeah,
team. He's not gonna want to just tank right now, especially after buying it for like $4 billion. So you
right.
know he's gonna want to be competitive. So I'm saying like what in that sense, what is the most realistic package? Like the OG Mitchell Robinson package kind of keeps you a little bit competitive, but you don't have any other assets after that.
Yeah, I
So
would not do that if I'm the
Mm,
Knicks because that team is nothing.
no, no, there's no defense.
There's no defense. There's no depth. That team is a five-man roster.
if I'm the Suns, like I think I want to get decent role players and like maybe a future pick that's worth it, with the hopes of eventually signing someone big or making a big
So you
trade
don't
in
think Vassell,
a year or two
Sohan,
from now.
and Harrison
No,
Barnes
they're good.
plus a pick? I think
It's
that's
a
a good
decent trade
package.
package. I think
Yeah, I
that's
think that's a
good.
good package.
It
And you
just
don't
feels
have
like
to
it's
give up
very
number
low
two
for
or
KD.
Castle. I mean, yeah, but at the same time, he's a year left, I think, with a team player option, and then you probably have to get an extension signed if you're gonna
Yeah.
take him on. Plus, he's 37 years old, and I mean, obviously he's gonna be good, but A lot of injury history as well. Didn't make All
I,
NBA.
I'm playing around in the trade machine right now just because I was curious. Is there any way that Kevin Durant can be traded for Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis?
They
No
have
way
to be given
both.
Jaylen Brown in that, no?
What? Oh,
Didn't they say something about like they don't want to get rid of Jaylen Brown, they said. But in a KD trade, I feel like you have to get rid of Jaylen Brown.
I don't. If you're the Celtics, though, why would you ever do that?
I don't know, I'm not sure that you would. But
If I'm the Celtic
like
or if I'm the Suns, I would not want to take Drew on.
what's or Kristaps, what's the point? They're
Well,
both like
Kristaps an expiring at
literally
least.
garbage. Like Kristaps' career is practically at an end. And then Drew Holiday, like the Celtics want to get rid of him that badly. Like
Right. But
he's
again, at
yeah,
least Kristaps is an expiring contract. Like Drew makes
yeah.
a lot of money for what, 3 more years on his deal?
Yeah. Yeah. Even Derek White might be on the move, dude. I've seen Derek White in a lot of trade packages lately for some reason. I don't know why. Like he's
But if
like
I'm
the
the
one guy.
Celtics, I would not want him going all in for KD. You already don't have Tatum for a year.
You're
That
wasting a
means you're
year. Yeah, I
losing a
don't
year
get the
of
point.
KD. That makes no sense.
Yeah,
I,
I
I
know.
I feel like if JT was healthy, they might have thought about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. I'd toss that around.
I think I'm trying to clear up some cap room if I'm the Celtics though for this year. Like I
Yeah,
think that's the one thing you can do in preparation for Tatum to come back and then kind of revamp the roster a little bit.
the
Uh,
East is going to be wide open next.
Facts. Next year is such a joke, dude.
It's
Cavs got to
right.
do something.
But if you're Giannis though, you're kind of looking around like, wait a second, like with a couple of decent moves, like you can you can Indiana Pacers your way into the fucking finals. Like you never
Yeah.
know. You never
I don't
know.
know. I feel like we're just discounting the Indiana Pacers because
No,
that
we're
team's
No, we
not.
fucking good,
are.
man.
We
That
Yeah.
team's
are. We
fucking
are.
good.
No, they
I
don't.
sitting here like fucking the team kicking my ass
Yeah,
and you're
literally.
hitting on.
No, they are so good. I don't want to discredit them, but like,
Yeah, but there's still Tyrese Halliburton led, bro. Like, come
yeah,
on.
like if Tyrese
Two
can
wins
that,
away
like
from the
so can
chip
Giannis.
against
Like,
the
Bro,
68 win
Pacers could
team.
totally trade for Giannis. Isn't that crazy? You put like Pascal, like Mathurin,
Walker.
I don't even know, like three picks, and you literally have Giannis as your pass.
okay, but in reality, I think he's gonna end up on the Rockets, who I think they're gonna be. That's a really nice fit.
Really good team.
Really nice
I don't
fit.
know.
I
I
mean,
still
like
don't know if
I've
the Rockets is the move personally. I feel like they
Seriously?
need the guard.
They
Like
need a guard.
I feel like they need a guard. Like I think
mm,
that's where the direction. Like I think Devin Booker is the perfect guy for them. I mean, again, KD's not a bad option, but it's I wouldn't give up your young guard, and
I,
I don't know.
What are
I
they
think
really giving up though? Like Reed Shepard is like the real like
Like
valuable
KD's
piece.
just like a finishing piece, I feel like on a title window team, but to take the next level, like he has 2 years left. I just don't see it. You're giving up so much for the last 2 years of a guy. Like you need to win the championship in the next 2 years, basically, with
Do
KD.
you think the Spurs
And the
would
Rockets
win
aren't
the
there.
championship? What do you think the
I think the
Spurs?
Spurs are much better built for it. Because you
so.
already have two top
They do
25
have two
players, maybe
guys. Like
two 30 guys.
both of those guys are better than any player in the Rockets too. Which is
Exactly.
Um,
yeah.
the Fred VanVleet has a 44 million team option, so they'll decline that. Um,
They're
uh,
restructuring it. Yeah. Didn't they say they're signing for
yeah,
like 30 million a year or something
I think
from
it'll be
Yeah.
like maybe something like 25.
okay.
Um, you have Fred, and I think you kind of have to lean Amen Thompson more into like ball handling duties, which I think he's definitely capable of. But Amen, KD, Şengün is like a really nice.
Ahmed and KD is such a sexy fit. Oh my God.
I'm kind of back and forth on the Şengün fit there because like offensively it's really nice. Like the DHOs are all great. Like Şengün's smart. Like the backdoor cuts will be good. Like he's actually a decent like post entry passer, which is like really all you need for KD. But the defense, KD's a good rim protector still, but everything else is like okay. Şengün is still not really anything defensively. So in that sense, how much
He's
can
all right
Amen?
as a rim protector too, but
No, I thought England's
I
okay.
think
So good protected. KD off ball is lethal
yeah,
defensively.
Yeah.
I
I
don't know. I think
think
he'll be able to cover
Udoka
up a
can make
little
it
bit.
work.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
don't think that's as
Like an
big.
Atari Eason type of role, like for KD. I mean, obviously not to the same like athletic extent, but the length and the the roaming capability, I think he could make it work.
So
I
is
think
Jalen
offensively it could be
so
interesting.
is the team Van Vliet, Jalen Green, Amen, Katie, Şengün?
That's a great question.
I
Probably.
don't love that either though.
I would go
Um,
like I think ideally I would go. I don't know if KD can play the three. I
I
don't know
would
if
go
he's back,
Jabari instead of
but I would
Jalen.
go. I would go Amen, Jalen, KD, Jabari, Şengün.
Same.
No point guard.
Defensively, that's also better, huh?
Amin, no, I would go Amin and
Amen
Fred.
at the point.
I would go
Can he,
Amin
can
and
he play
Fred.
point guard though?
Oh, you Amen and Fred. You bench Jalen Green.
I'd bench Jalen Green for sure.
Wow.
Oh, I mean, I really don't like Jalen Green. I totally would bench him too.
Yeah,
I don't think they're doing that. I don't think
I guess
He's
that's
making too
fair.
much
Yeah.
money
they
to be
might as well
benched.
trade him at that point.
Politics, man, too much
That's
money.
why just trade him, bro. Like that's why you trade him. Just get rid of him. What's the point of keeping him on the
There'd be
team
a
then? Like,
there'd be a market out there for him too.
or if you can no, but I'm saying even this KD trade, if you can keep one of Dylan Brooks or like
Cam,
not I doubt Reed Shepard's gonna be able to stay, but if you keep Dylan Brooks and like Dylan Brooks might be more valuable to that team than Jalen Green overall.
I think so.
So you could technically just keep him. The contracts would be fine. Like Jalen Green's making more, but it would work.
Yeah.
Um,
God, that Suns
I
team
think
would be.
Jalen Green has to go in that trade. I think you guys are
Bradley
doing
Beal, Devin Booker, Jalen Green would be
Oh my God.
that's a crazy, crazy combination of
I
players.
think I just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
bad. That's so bad. What the
Just
fuck is
fuck.
he doing
It's
over
like the Pokemon like three archetypes, like just the same player.
Insane. Poor dude, Devin Booker, like the discourse around him is so bad. Like he's gotten so fucking like I don't know what
Yeah,
happened.
it's tough.
I
After that Olympics, people were talking him up. It's like,
Right.
wow, great playmaker, great defender.
Oh yeah, I was listening to Lowe, and he said that what he's hearing is that Devin Booker kind of likes the idea of like being one team lifer for lifer,
Right.
and so he might want to be with the Suns forever. A big Kobe fan, yeah, which I get. I understand, and your whole family's there. Like you have
HBA
a life,
loves that too. Like he loves Book for sure.
but in today's NBA, like if you want that, if you want to win, like that's just not is not realistic. And like the Suns are, it just doesn't feel like they're gonna win anytime soon.
Yeah. No, I agree. But also if if he wants to be and HBO wants it, I feel like it's just what's gonna happen, sadly.
But it's like you said in the Olympics, how great he was as like a playmaker, defender, like
Yep.
fourth, fifth option, and like he can be a second, third option, kind of connector glue guy. I mean, obviously, like not connector is like a Caruso, but like,
Right.
a bigger version of that somewhere else if
I
he
mean,
really
he could be
wants.
an elite second option because this is
Yeah,
still like a top 15 player at his best.
yeah, absolutely. And I don't know. I don't see the path to the Suns at all. But I can't believe how badly this Kevin Durant thing has gone, honestly.
Yeah, I know they fumbled really bad.
Oh, hey, Ron, what's
Hey
up?
guys. Wait, what was the move you guys think they actually fucked up on? Because I was thinking like,
The Beal trade.
but the Beal wasn't that crazy. That
Yes.
wasn't that bad,
Yes.
was it?
I
Yes,
thought the entire time they
Coming
gave
off
up
a good season.
all their draft capital, which was all their picks, all their swaps. They gave up what, Aiton was in the trade? No. He was in
No,
the
what
he was in
was that the
the
Beal
Nurkic
trade?
trail. He was in the Nurkic trade
It was a
with
Chris
Dame.
Paul for Beal trade, no?
Yeah, it was the Chris Paul for Beal trade.
How many picks did they give up?
Well, they gave up like three pick swaps in like 5 seconds or something like that.
How valuable would those actually be, though?
The pick swaps could be anything because the Suns suck, but I mean, it's also the Wizards who also suck, so you never really know.
That's the
they
thing.
also
Yeah,
traded Aiton for Nurkic, which is just like a
that was weird.
That
They
was a
both
bad
are.
trade.
move. Yeah, that the Beal trade is disgusting and
But it's
50.
like it's not even about what you give up, it's about what you're taking back, which is $50 million contract who puts you in the
But they
second apron
thought he'd be
immediately.
good. Like he wasn't garbage when they traded for him, is my point.
He's also never healthy, and your roster is completely like down to three people, basically. And also, he's just not good. He's not good enough for that contract. Even if he's good, he's not good enough for that contract. No one like
Yeah.
he's not a
Oh,
top. You need to be a top 10 player for that type of contract to be valuable. That's why Jalen
I
Brown's
feel
like
like
so
when
grossly
that trade
overpaid.
happened, we didn't hate it as much. Yeah.
I don't know. I think I
But
disliked
yeah,
it, but maybe as a Wizards, you were thinking more about like the pull side of things. I don't know.
I mean, he was coming off a good year too. He averaged like
I
23.
was
He
more
put, I mean,
impressed on the Wizards side, to be honest, because he had the no trade clause and they were able to get off his contract,
yeah.
get Chris Paul. and then turn him into Poole, who's like, solid guy.
Who's gonna be gone soon? He's on the trade block.
Fair.
Yeah, Wizards are a shit show. This trade actually gave the Wizards Bilal Coulibaly too. So
That's yeah.
who would have been a beautiful fit on the on the Suns right now.
Yeah. Tumani Kamara.
Much like Tamani Kamara, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
They gave
They
away
got
for what,
Ryan Dunn
cash?
and
Or was he in
Iguodala, so
the Yeah,
huh?
Ryan Dunn's pretty similar. What was the
Yeah.
Kamara deal? Was that the Aiden deal? Same one?
Yes. That's why he's on
Yeah.
the Blazers, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Should we quickly touch on the Knicks asking literally everybody and their mom
Oh
to
my God.
cook?
Yeah.
Sluts. Yeah. Um,
Well,
well,
not
the
even
Knicks have
that, dude.
asked.
It's like an incel type shit. Like,
But
It's
wait,
bad.
first of all, I didn't get the firing Tibbs. I didn't agree with that at all.
mhm.
You just went to
Mm,
the Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah, I mean, he's not very creative, offensively creative. But when you get that much success, what you haven't had in a decade, 2 decades and a half, I don't see how you fire that coach. You give him at least another season to try and figure things out. Also, give me a coach out there who has Jalen Brunson as their point guard and Karl Anthony Towns as their center and is putting a competitive defense out there. Can
yeah.
anybody do that?
To be fair, they do have some good defensive building blocks with like the rest of the team, but I agree. Like, I'm not sure outside of maybe playing more guys in the regular season what Tom Thibodeau could have done better to unlock this team. Like, I thought they looked like Cat looked pretty good in the playoffs this year, but what surprised me, like, I don't think it's as surprising because the players wanted him gone. Like,
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
the owner like is Dolan still the owner? I'm
Yeah,
not. I like okay, yeah. So Dolan said that he like multiple players came to him and like were unhappy with Tom Thibodeau being there. So like that's like the main reason. I think from our point of view, like yeah, they won a shit ton of games. Clearly, the locker room's not great. They're thinking of moving on from Cat for some reason. Like that's weird. Um, yeah, it's just that team doesn't have that it factor. They never did. Like it was surprising when they even beat the Celtics, right? We
for
like
sure.
so
I think it's surprising when any team beat the Celtics, but
that's true. Yeah, but
yeah,
yeah,
I agree. I think we're just discrediting again. The Pacers are really good. Like, I feel like if they waited the
yeah.
finals out to see if the Pacers were legit or not, like if the Pacers competed with the Thunder, right, and made it a series, then you realize
Mm,
that maybe they're a really good team and you just didn't have what it takes to beat the final contender, and that's fine. Or even that the fact that you pushed the Pacers to game six means that you're
I
like
mean,
a
they
pretty
almost
good
won.
team.
Like they
Yeah, I
blew
mean,
that
if
bullshit
game
lead in
one
game
didn't
one too.
happen, they could have beat the Pacers and gotten to the finals, and then if they competed with the Thunder, then the Knicks could have been there. So I feel like obviously you can blame coaching on part of that execution, but also
Yeah.
that was an all-time insane. Like, I didn't even feel like it was that insane. The Knicks blew that game. Like, Neesmith was just hitting the most outlandish shots of all time.
Or at least
Hallie
with
hit the most
them.
crazy, like that was just ridiculous. And then also, yeah, you beat the Celtics. I think that's just like one of the biggest accomplishments the season by a team. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
excluding everything the Pacers did, basically, that was probably the biggest accomplishment by any team, the biggest upset. And the fact that they did
Yeah.
that, I think just earned you a little time. And obviously, if the Pacers players didn't like you and you feel like he wasn't playing enough guys, those are problems for sure. But I just felt like, what more can you do as a coach? It's just tough to ask.
that's where I was at. I was just like you said, like you've made it this far, and it feels like the East is so wide open next year. Like, why not run it back with Tom one more year and see if he can get it done in a wide open East? Because like, you could tell me that anybody comes out the East next year, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
So
But at the same time, I do get their perspective. Like, the East is wide open. You got to make sure you're there, right? If you risk it with Tom and he doesn't work out while the East is wide open, you missed your chance if the East gets good again in the year. So I get
But
that,
like,
but I think the
what
bigger problem
about
is
it made you think that?
they just didn't have a backup plan. That's my biggest problem with it.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, what about Tom's tenure on the Knicks made you think that they would just like I don't think there's been some like insanely surprising result in the like in terms of the Knicks. Like they are who they are. We don't they didn't blow some like insane series like oh wow they lost the Pistons in the first round. We thought they were heavy favorites. If anything, they've overachieved. Like when they beat the Cavs. in the playoffs. Like that was super
I
impressive. I
guess the
mean,
Hawks that first year, but
that
that's
okay,
before Brunson.
that was
And,
like
and I mean,
yeah.
with Tom, that they made their first playoffs in 8 seasons in
Yeah.
2021 or something like that. Like,
They made it
I
4 seasons in a row too. Like
yeah,
that's
that too.
an
So they
accomplishment for that franchise before
absolutely.
Tom. Yeah.
So and
Yeah.
now they're gonna look at Taylor
And they
Jenkins.
took the Pacers to 7 without Randall too. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Bill Simmons joked on his podcast that he said he doesn't think James Dolan even knows who Taylor Jenkins is, which I thought was pretty funny. It just feels like the Knicks, like this big market, big players, like I feel like they need a big name coach. I'm they floated this on their podcast.
Phil Jackson,
Okay,
Oh
slow
my
down.
Pat
God.
Riley. Just get him
Um,
back.
I thought
Get him
Frank
back.
Pat
Vogel.
Riley. Wow.
Nobody's brought up Frank Vogel, but I thought that's an interesting name as well.
Hmm,
Um,
that is interesting.
he's coached big names. He's coached the
Defense.
Lakers championship. Um, uh,
Yeah.
pretty good on both sides of the ball. Good defensive minded coach too, which they need. Their offense is going to be their offense no matter what it is. Jalen Brunson pounding the ball. We haven't heard Frank Vogel at all though.
I
So,
haven't heard Bud. I feel like Bud's a good coach,
but
just never
too,
getting the love.
yeah, I think everybody's just kind of like the Suns just like fucked everybody
Yeah,
up. Like,
that's true.
but they should all get a pass for that. Like, it's not their
For
fault.
real.
It's the fucking Suns.
Yeah. Do you guys want to touch on Giannis at all? I don't really know what
I
there
feel
is
like
to
we
talk
should just
about.
quickly talk about the fact that the Knicks asked every team's coach, like
Oh yeah, we can go.
exist
We didn't even
like
name the names,
yeah,
man. Like Chris
like
Finch of the Wolves, Ime Udoka of the Rockets.
we got a
Again,
tweet
two
like
very
every other
successful
hour
teams.
by Shams being like the Knicks asked for this player coach or this coach to be or to interview and the team said no. And it was
And
just
these
like
teams are all like
five
decently
times.
successful. Like, why the fuck would the Wolves let Chris Finch go right now? Or why would like the Rockets get rid of Ime Udoka?
Why would
Or why
any
would the
team who's
Mavs get
just
rid of
like
Kidd?
why would
Yeah,
any team with a tenured coach who's like had good seasons under their belt just want to just let
random.
them interview? Like even Billy Donovan, like he's a tenured coach, like successful history. Why would you just like let him interview for? I don't get it.
It's truly embarrassing for them to come out and ask permission. Like that you're
Yeah,
it's like you're going on a date with a married person. Like, who the fuck? What are you doing? Yeah,
that's a
it's
good
odd.
comparison.
Yeah. Okay. Giannis stuff at all? I'm not sure how much there is to cover on this. Just like I don't even think he's given real indications that he's out of here. I feel like Kevin Durant is really taken over in terms of the trade.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
I think KD's trade is imminent if it happens, like
Honestly,
legitimately.
more than the KD stuff. Have you guys? I mean, the Giannis stuff. Have you guys seen KD's Twitter recently and how he's like
oh,
going at
he's been yeah, talking to every fan. Yeah.
yeah about like almost like defending his legacy. He's like All
Hmm.
Star 50 40 90. I'm just like why are you what does he gain
That
from
trade value up, bro. Fuck the
that?
Suns over, bro.
It kind of sucks because I feel like
Y'all know
I
who he
feel like
is.
I hate whatever KD says in his tweets, but then at the end of the day, he always wins these Twitter arguments because he just has
He's
that much.
Kevin
He's
Durant.
KD. Yeah, it's
Like,
so
what the fuck?
annoying.
But he's so condescending in
Yeah, it's
everything.
so
Everything he says has a
condescending.
slight condescending tone. It pisses
I
me
feel like
off.
even when a fan is being nice to him, he's condescending.
Yeah, he is. He literally is, bro.
I'm scrolling
Uh,
through it just right now, and one of his tweets say, "You are a low level D2 athlete who quit. Dot dot dot. Even worse." In response to somebody, like
It's
he,
like you can't talk to him unless you're a billionaire, dude. Like, what's the bar to being able to talk to Kevin Durant legitimately?
and he doesn't
Steph's got to
respond to
reply
anybody
one
who
too.
like gives him love. He'll just like shit on people
No,
who.
or he doesn't reply. Like, there's probably
Yeah,
tons of people showing him love. He just doesn't fucking respond. And like, KD fans are also the worst. They're fucking annoying too, bro. Like, no one's normal on Twitter. Um,
well, that's true.
That
yeah.
that's what I've realized recently is like Twitter is not life because some people are ridiculous.
Thankfully, yeah. Oh my God. Okay, let's move on to the last, like, this is like a random thing we're talking about, but we were just noticing to the listeners out there that there have been a lot of players getting surgery this offseason, so maybe it's worth just shouting a few of them out and wishing them a nice recovery. I actually like pulled up like a list of these players. When should I start? Should I start with like the beginning of summer or
Sure.
Yeah,
what? Let's just start with Tatum. Tatum tore his Achilles, and on May he got surgery on May 13th, and there's no way he comes back next year, right? Like even if the Celtics make the
Is he
playoffs, I'm
like
not sure that
squatting 600 or
it doesn't
something?
it
You
take
guys see the clips about him?
what?
Yeah, I saw something nuts, dude. I don't know if it's like
Fucking
how recent it
lie,
is, but
bro. That is a lie. He does not squat 600 pounds. That's a lie. Um, I don't know. I'm not sure if he returns next year. It depends, obviously, where the Celtics are. But if they're like a feisty five seed, and I don't think he's coming back. Um,
yeah,
yeah. And you know that Zach Edey had ankle surgery. He's gonna miss the start of the season. Darius Garland, it's kind of so you probably feel a little bit better about this only because like the big toe actually was a big excuse. Like I mean, it was a good excuse because he's gonna miss 4 to 5 months.
He might miss
With
the
this.
he might miss the start of the next season as well.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, 4 to 5 months is like right at the beginning of the season. So
Yeah.
yeah, I doubt he's able to come. So prayers up for him. Jaylen Brown, this was also kind of surprising. I think there was rumors of him being injured in the playoffs. But yeah, right, it's like a meniscus surgery. So and then Brandon Pajemski, uh,
Didn't
a
see this one.
core like it was like a wrist and core injury. So he's got surgery on that. But he'll recover quickly, I'm sure.
Hmm.
Um,
I'm
yeah,
confused about Garland. Like, why did he not do it earlier?
The surgery?
Yeah, like, I mean, obviously, the toe injury is a problem. It's been plaguing you for, since it took him like a month to do it, it felt like.
Yeah, I'm not
since
too.
they lost, you mean?
I'm
Yeah,
sure there's a lot of like diagnosis and stuff that has to happen of like
mm,
that would be my guess. I have no medical background, so I don't
fair, fair.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
I
it's a
just,
big toe, right? I'm sure they're like, is it worth operating on? Like, I'm sure can he recover? He just fucking played. Like, I'm sure it's fine. And maybe
right.
maybe imagine if he gets it like that night of the thing. They're like, ah, excuses already start. Maybe he needed
Actually though,
us to
like
forget.
that's how some people work though. Like they will just see that as an excuse. Like
Yeah.
yeah, but
fucking
I'm
do
not,
it.
I'm not waiting on surgery for Twitter attention.
Yeah,
Like
that's
it's like
funny,
if I
right?
need it,
Like I'm getting surgery. Oh, he was lying. No, he was joking. No. Um, LeBron also he didn't have surgery, right? But he did have that thing. What did he have?
I don't remember.
calf
Hamstring?
injury,
A
hams.
calf?
That sounds
Oh,
right.
foot. No, not foot. There's something with his leg.
MCL. Yeah,
Oh,
MCL injury.
right. Game 5, he got hurt right at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of injuries, man. The pace of play is, I think, is tough for some players to handle.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. So shout even Tyrese we thought was gonna be hurt or was hurt before game three, was it? So
Officially, like tomorrow, we have a week of the NBA season left. Crazy. I
sad.
mean, max. Like, obviously, Pacers or Thunder could take it before, but I mean, Sunday, a week from then is the last day of the season. Crazy.
Hey, Dorian Finney-Smith also had surgery on his left ankle.
Damn.
I don't think like that.
Lakers
I didn't
fans
see
gonna
that
use
on the
that for
news.
sure.
Oh yeah. But he'll be ready by training camp. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I mean that's all for us, right? Anything else you guys want to touch on before we close it out? Awesome. Okay. Well, thanks everyone for listening to the Change of Pace podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Change of Pace, as well as Spotify and TikTok. We're gonna be posting now and YouTube. So yeah, definitely follow us on all those social media platforms. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Thank you.